Hello, everybody. Whew. I hope everybody is staying in the AC today. Here in Greensboro, it is 92 degrees. Supposed to get up to 94 today. I think that's the hottest day we've had this year. We've only had a couple of days in the 90s this year so far. Usually, I think by this time last year, we've had like 18 days in the 90s. So we're doing good this year, but it's supposed to be in the 90s about every day with only a slight chance of rain tomorrow. So we usually have a drought every year. I guess this may be the start of one. In the news, a woman named Karen Klein, if you've seen the news, she was the bus monitor on a bus at a middle school in Greece, New York. I think she was 62 or 64, somewhere like that. She was in her 60s. And she was bullied by four middle school kids on that bus. They bullied her. It showed a video of her, and then some of the things that they said was they told her, they said, "You're so fat you take up a whole seat." They said, and she was sitting there crying and raised her glasses up to wipe her eyes, and they said, "Your glasses are foggy from sweating, you freaking fat ass." And then they would make fun of, tell her, I ought to stab you with a knife. I ought to stab you with a butter knife, and it'd go right through you, making fun on how fat her stomach was. Her son, 10 years ago, had committed suicide. And they even had the nerve to tell her that the reason her son killed himself was because he didn't want to be around her. And these are middle school kids talking to her this way. Okay, so apparently she turned them in. She said that they was going to arrest him. She said she didn't want to have him arrested. You know, I was feeling real sorry for her, but this, I don't feel sorry for her in that respect, because I would have had him arrested. You damn right, I'd have had him arrested. Because if the parents can't do anything with them, because you whip your kids these days, you go to jail as child abuse. If the school's not willing to do anything to them, and then you're going to bully me like that, and then, yeah, I'm going to have you arrested, because if you're going to torment me like that, you're going to torment the other kids and underprivileged children that they're around is going to get the same thing from these bullies. So I would have had them arrested to the point to where not necessarily go to jail, or not even have it on their permanent record all their life, but to scare them, to show them that every action has a consequence. So people have taken up donations for this woman, and they've took up $190,000, and they want her to use that money to take a much needed vacation. Now, what kind of vacation do you need for $190,000? You know, I would take the vacation, and then I wouldn't be a bus monitor anymore. Some people made the comments of, well, if she was a bus monitor, she was there to keep trouble from being on the bus. But she ended up being the source of the trouble. And she said that she didn't say anything to the kids while they were saying this because she's not a confrontational person. Well, the bus guard, they're there to keep the peace, right? I mean, they're there to make sure everything is peaceful on the bus. She wasn't exactly doing her job. And at the same time, she can't really do her job if she's going to talk back to them and try to get them to shut up, and then they're going to holler abuse, and then she's going to be suspended from her job pending an investigation on how she treated the kids. That wouldn't be fair. I don't know what happened to the way things used to be, but I'm going to tell you what, as far as the way these kids treated this woman, I was scrolling through the comments, and Jeff Shipsky, I think I said that right. Jeff Shipsky said it best. He said, "That's our next generation, our future, totally detached from emotion, compassion, gratitude, of respect of themselves or others." And he said that right. They're detached. A lot of people in the comments section was blaming the parents, saying the parents should be jailed. No, that's going a little far. Some people think that anytime a child does anything wrong, it's mommy's and daddy's fault for not teaching them any different. No. If we could go back to the day to where you could paddle your child, things would be a lot calmer. But nowadays, if you spank a child, it's considered child abuse because, and some people have even said this: if you spank a child, you're doing nothing but teaching your child to hit back. And that's not true. If you, just like the one time when they stood somebody in the corner in class or something, and they said, well, they embarrassed that child. That's a form of child abuse, and the teacher was suspended. If you make them right 100 times like I did mine, well, that's probably going to be abuse too. It doesn't make any sense. You have no control over children these days. You can't do anything. And I'm quite sure if I were younger and my children were born in this day and time, I would have probably been in jail several times because I'm going to whip their ass when they're mean and misbehaving. My kids turned out good. They had their moments, but nothing like this. And in another case, a little boy was bullied at school. His name was Nathan Pemberton. He was 9 years old. And reading this story reminded me of Joey, my son, when he was in school. And I've told this story in a video before. Anyway, this Nathan Pemberton was bullied by a certain boy. He would come home every day talking about how that boy hit him. That boy would push him down. So his parents called the school, called the principal, got absolutely nowhere. Nobody was doing anything. They just simply weren't willing to do anything. And on a daily basis, this boy bullied Nathan. So finally, the parents did what I did when my son was in that situation, and they told their son, they said, apparently nobody's willing to do anything about it. And when he does it again, do what you got to do. Stand up to him and defend yourself. Do not let him bully you like this. So the next day, Nathan Pemberton went to school, and this boy pushed him up against the wall. Nathan tried to walk away. The boy pushed him down. Nathan tried to get up. The boy hit him and held him down, so Nathan fought back. Nathan and the bully were both suspended. Yes, Nathan was suspended for fighting back, and that is wrong. And the reason they did it, the school says they have a policy that says District 2 schools employ many anti-bullying teaching techniques, and none includes violence or retaliation. So they basically suspended Nathan for retaliation of a bully. And so if the bully had been suspended in the first place when Nathan's parents was reporting it, Nathan would not have had to retaliate. And this would not have happened. I don't know when schools and today's adults are going to get this through their head. And then it goes full circle. People come back and say it's the parents' fault. And every time some child is out there doing something mischievous and wrong, and they know that somebody's going to blame their parents, they know they are. They're going to say, well, it's the parents' fault. And they do it anyway because they know they're free and clear. Nobody's going to look at them. It's going to be on mommy and daddy. Somebody even left a comment on that and said, well, they was talking about bullying, and they said, well, families just need to not bring in as much income and have somebody stay home with the children. This must be coming from somebody that's extremely wealthy, because today, in today's society, both parents work. And some do, but not all of them work just for fun. You know, a lot of families, and all of our money, you know, you're not going to get any kind of benefits if only one parent's working in the home. It'd be different if you got food stamps and Medicaid and everything else like all the illegal aliens get. So, but we as Americans don't get that. So it's not the parents' fault. Granted, some of the parents are to blame, some of them. Most of them are not, though. Because, come on, middle school, You send your child out the door and they say, bye, Mommy, I love you. You don't know what they're doing when they're out that door. And you could teach them right from wrong all day long. But peer pressure is a bitch. And when they get around their little bully friends and they want to fit in, they're going to go along with the crowd. And yeah, a lot of times they're going to know what's wrong. And they might even feel bad about it, but they're going to do it anyway. Some people have even said that these kids that tortured by bullying Karen Klein on the bus said that they really didn't mean to do it. They're good kids. They didn't mean to do it. They just wanted to YouTube it and see how many hits they would get. So basically, they're like, bah, they didn't mean to do it, you know. How stupid is that? It's stupid. There's these schools that have zero tolerance for bullies, they should carry them through. They should follow through. There should be... Oh, and some people even saying about these bullies that their parents need to take parenting classes. Please. That is just so ridiculous. What good is that going to do? Your child says, your son killed himself because he didn't want to be with your fat ass. And then if my child had said that, and then they're going to come tell me, Ms. Lester, you need parenting classes. And then I'm going to go sit in a parenting class because of what my child did. No. They need to bring back the switch. They need to bring back the paddle. And children need to get their asses busted. And I did a video on this, and I had a lot of comments. Child discipline and spankings was the name of that video. And I've had thousands and thousands of views. And most people agree. But a lot of people don't agree. And the ones that don't agree, when they leave their comments, they cuss me out. They're rude. They're belligerent. And they don't believe in spankings. That's why they are the way that they are. Because they didn't get their ass whooped as a child. And I'm not talking beat. I'm talking a spanking. Up until this generation or a couple of generations, spankings were normal. You used to... When I was in school, you could spank the children in school. The teachers had a paddle on their desk, and you could spank a child for misbehaving. And children was a lot different back then than they are today. Today, children have no respect. And it's like Jeff said, they're detached. They're detached because they sit in front of the computer. They sit texting on the phone. They're babysat by electronics, basically, while both parents have to work. And they don't take anybody else's feelings into consideration. And it's wrong. I say if you're going to make a bullying rule at school, a bullying law, you stick to that bullying law. And, you know, suspension. You're caught bullying the second time, then you get suspended for the year. And you have to repeat that year over. Now, how many kids are going to want to do that? So if they do bully one time, and then they're suspended, they're going to know the next time they do it, they're out. You got to repeat the whole year. They're not going to want to do that. So why is that not a rule? Why? Because the school says it's too harsh. Nothing else is working, people. We need some harsh punishment here. I mean, my goodness. If nothing else is working, find something that does. And I think that would do it. That's what I would do if I were in charge. But anyway, I'm not. So, that's it for today. And everybody, stay cool. And until next time, bye-bye.